Three, two, one. What is going on, everybody? It's your boy, the Lo-Fi Horror Guy. Welcome to another episode of the Lo-Fi Horror Guys, growing on you live. Today, we're going to have on a Mr. Simone Scafidi. I am just recently, introduced to him and his work. He wrote and directed this bad boy here from Severn Films, Fulci For Fake. Oh my, oh my. Absolutely awesome docu slash a biopic slash just straight up film. There's a lot of really cool behind the scenes stuff on here. For the introduction here, I'll just say here's the Blu-ray. You got the lithograph cover. Very, very cool. You got the cover art. There's the back art. You got the old side. Let me take it back a little bit. Say side fart. Nice. But you take that bad boy off. You got the Blu-ray. Comes with a nice little booklet and the disc art there. Absolutely beautiful. Really, really cool set. Special features and everything that are on it are just so cool. Great little piece. So gonna be really cool to talk with Simone. Have him on here and get this on a rolling.
We're here.
Simone, how you doing, sir?
Hi, hello, Eric. I'm very fucking well.
everything all right? It was a little patchy there. Everything good?
Yeah, everything good.
Awesome.
This is my first Instagram live, so.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you being on.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to me.
Awesome. So I'm growing on you live here on my show. Typically, I have a couple of icebreaker questions, just something kind of fun to, get into everything. And then the remainder of the questions are about, you, personal interests, and your work. And then I have one finale question that I wrote just for you, Simone. I am so excited. I'm a huge fan of Fulci For Fake. So, if you're all set, we're going to dig right into this.
Yes, you're welcome. Okay, I'm ready.
All right. All right, awesome. So initially, let me ask you, my wife and I do some traveling. So hitting on, just as far as a local food staple to you, if we were coming through Italy, what would be a local restaurant you would tell us that we had to hit before we left?
Oh, okay. Of course, it depends on what part of Italy you are coming to.
Okay.
I live in Milan, in North Italy, so this is my little girl.
Hello.
It's her first Instagram live too. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. The older son, Alessandro. So if you come to Milan, you can eat a wonderful risotto alla milanese.
Okay.
Yeah, so rice of Milan.
Okay.
Or you can eat if you go to Rome, bucatini alla matriciana. That is a kind of pasta, a wonderful kind of pasta.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, we're huge fans, so hopefully we make it over there sometime because that stuff sounds really good. So let me ask you today, if you and I were to make a horror movie, and I said, Simone, look, I need you to come up with the villain, whether it be a huge monster or a zombie movie or a werewolf movie, what would the villain be that you created?
Okay, so I ask you please to repeat the last question because there was my little girl howling and so screaming.
Not a problem. I understand. Just asking about if we were making a horror movie and you were in charge of the villain.
Okay.
You were in charge of the villain. What kind of villain would you make in our movie?
Okay. Well, interesting question. Well, maybe Jack Torrance in Shining.
Okay.
So, okay, mad writer, mad director in my case. Okay.
Right. Okay. All right. Yeah. Awesome. If your little one is wanting to be in the interview as well, she can sit in with you. That's perfectly fine.
Okay. Yeah. No. Okay. I have nowadays my wife take my children with her, so I think.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
A
yeah.
little better. I just
Okay.
figured I'm around little kids all the time, and so if they were wanting to be in it and they were yelling about that, then go on ahead.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
So tell me about your intro to the horror genre in general, and
Yeah.
just I know you being a horror fan. Tell me about where it all started for you.
Well, I grew up in a family. My parents were not cinephiles, but they loved good movies.
Mm.
So when I was a kid, a child, we watched together the movies of Alfred Hitchcock, Billy Wilder,
Okay.
Stanley Kubrick. Yeah, and my parents did not like genre movies, but in sense of action movies. It was the period I'm talking about 80s.
Sure.
So
Okay.
all my schoolmates watched the movies of Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Eddie Murphy, but my parents did not like that kind of movies. But
Okay.
they allowed me to watch all the horror movies I wanted to see,
Oh
because
wow. Okay.
they thought that it was a kind of movies more interesting than the action ones. Uh, of course, watching with them the movies of Hitchcock, I was used to see something thriller. But me and my parents started to read the books of the novels of Stephen King, and then
Okay.
to watch all the movies, the adaptation of these books.
Okay.
And the horror genre became one of my favorite kind of movies. And then I discovered the movies of George Romero, like Dawn of the Dead, The Day of the Dead, of Wes Craven, like Nightmare on Elm Street, and so on.
Sure.
And then, of course, I finally met Lucio Fulci's world.
Okay. All right. And once what was your initial draw to his work? What was the first, movie that you saw that really pulled you in?
Well, before watching his movies, I read a lot about them and about him. When I was 14, 15, in Italy, it was really difficult to find Lucio Fulci's movies.
Okay.
In the VHS rentals, there were no Lucio Fulci's movies, just one or two.
Okay.
But I read about his movies in a book, in a story of the horror movies. And in that book, Lucio Fulci's movies were all treated like shit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but the titles of these movies, like The Beyond, like Don't Torture a Duckling, like The House by the Cemetery, opened to me a world of horror I wanted to encounter, to know, to discover.
Right.
So first of all, I bought the only book about Lucio Fulci that was available in Italy.
Mhm.
That was this one.
Oh, awesome. Nice. Okay.
L'occhio del testimone, the Eye of the Witness, by Michele Romagnoli, that is one of the people I have interviewed for Fuji For Fake. And I really fall in love with Lucha Fuji, because the book is full of interviews or of thoughts of Lucha Fuji. So coming back to your question, the first two movies of Fulci I have seen were The House by the Cemetery and A Cat in the Rain.
Oh, okay, nice, wow. And it just spawned from there, went further and further, huh? Now you mentioned Stephen King. What's been your favorite read from him? What was your favorite book?
Well, it's maybe too banal to say it. So I say Carrie.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Salem's Salem's Lot. Sorry.
Oh
Salem's
yeah,
Lot.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's. Have you had any of his film interpretations that you've enjoyed?
Sorry.
Any of the movies that were interpretations from his books that you liked?
Of course, Shining. That is one of favorite movies ever. Then Carrie by Brian De Palma. Misery by Rob Reiner. Stand By Me by Rob Reiner. And the Dead Zone by Cronenberg.
Oh yeah, that's also a really good one for sure.
And also the recent series, The Outsider.
Oh yeah, I haven't gotten to finish that, but that starts really, really good. I'm a couple episodes in. I haven't finished it yet though. I'm excited.
Okay, so.
Have you read that book as well?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
The show. Okay. All right. So as far as your interest in horror, give us three horror scenes that forever terrify you.
Okay. Well, the ending. So I'm making a little spoiler of Don't Look Now by Nicholas Roeg.
Oh yeah.
Where Donald Sutherland meets the horrible dwarf dressed like his dead daughter. Then in Deep Red by Dario Argento, not an horror but a thriller with horror moment. The scene with the mechanic puppet that enter the house of Glauco Mauri. And of course The Shining, the scene near the end in which Shelley Duvall is running through the hotel, and she saw in a room two ghost guests that are making oral sex, and there is the one a big rabbit, and it was really a shock to me.
Absolutely.
When I was a child, and so I did not understand what was going on.
I was going to say the same exact thing. It took the longest time for me to understand. When I initially saw that, I didn't understand what was going on, and it was years later I watched it again. I'm like, oh my God, that's terrible. Even worse than I thought. So now, as far as digging into Fulci For Fake, in the introduction here, I was showing off this bad boy. Absolutely beautiful release. Initially, you were approached to do some sort of a documentary. Can you dig a little bit into this as far as how this all started and your idea for coming up with making a movie about Fulci?
Yeah. Well, initially, but I'm talking about 2010, 2012. I was looking forward to make a fictional movie about Lucha Fuji. But it was really difficult. So I dropped that kind of project, and some years later, in 2018, the producer Giada Mazzoleni called me, and she asked me, I want to produce a feature documentary movie. Have you got some idea? And I said, well, let's do something about Lucio Fulci. And she says, figata, that in Italian means cool.
Okay. Okay.
And so I thought, I was thinking of a personal way to do it, because, you know, Lucio Fulci called himself the terrorist of genre, because he thought that every kind of movie genre he faced, from comedy to horror, from western to erotic movies, he made it in an unusual way.
Right.
So I decided to make a biopic different from everyone else. Of course, in
Sure
Fuji,
is.
of course, in Fuji For Fake, you have some classical things, interviews, talking heads, footage. But there's this narrative line of this actor played by Nicola Nocella, who's going to play Lucio Fulci in the first biopic about him. So he decided to meet, to interview relatives, friends, collaborators of Lucio Fulci, to find the real Lucio Fulci. That is an impossible thing. So the other reason was that, well, as a director, I always try to find the right balance between what is interesting to me and what can maybe find an audience. Lucio Fulci is known all over the world, of course, by little bunches of spectators, but he has fans in Japan, in Germany, in North America, in Spain. So this movie could easily travel all over the world. So there was a commercial reason and an artistic reason, doing something personal, doing something that I could be proud of.
Sure. Okay. And now I can say, as far as, with Fulci's work, my favorite has always been the Hokey Poke, and now I'm City of the Living Dead. I was about to forget the name of the dang movie. But now, you have mentioned, earlier working with Nicola Nocella, as you had mentioned, familiarizing himself with the Beyond, beginning his research with that role. Can you tell us about the importance of the Beyond to you?
Yeah. Well, I think that the Beyond is the masterpiece of Lucio Fulci. Lucio Fulci was usual to say in his last years that Beatrice Cenci, that is an historical movie shot in 1979, was his masterpiece. But I think that he said that because that movie, Beatrice Cenci, was the only movie that was not a genre movie. It was a sort of drama. And Fulci made 60 movies, all genre movies, but he maybe wanted to be known as a total director. In Italy, only the director who make drama movies are considered author.
Oh, okay. Oh.
I think that he said that, but The Beyond to me is a movie that goes beyond the genre. It is a movie about life and death. It is a movie that has a musical structure. There are moments poetic, and there are moments really gore. It's a unique movie. When it came out, came out in 1980. It was considered as a sort of rip-off of clone of films like The Shining, like Inferno by Dario Argento. It was considered a copy, a low-budget copy. But nowadays, The Beyond is a movie that you can't compare to anything else.
Right, stands alone.
Yeah, it stands alone.
Okay.
And so I mean, for example, in the USA, you read about Martin Scorsese saying how much he loves Mario Bava.
Mm-hmm.
And so Tim Burton. You never read about great directors, contemporary great directors saying that Lucio Fulci was a great one. Yes, you got Benicio del Toro, who made the introduction for the restoration of Zombie, but Guillermo del Toro is himself a fantastic genre director.
Right.
Well, I think that great directors, important critics, don't have still understand the greatness of Lucio Fulci. His ability of going beyond the genre, making surrealistic movies. And I hope that sooner or later it will happen.
Sure. Okay. And as far as just your approach with Fulci For Fake, just writing and directing, where was it kind of in the timeline where you started, thinking about, oh, well, maybe I can do something where I can actually make this a film in and of itself, include some real life interviews, include some snippets of Nicola himself, dressing up and kind of becoming this character. Where did that kind of come to life for you?
Well, it was quite a quick decision.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I told you that the producer Giada Mazzoleni called me. It was about April, May of 2018, and at September of 2018 we were starting shooting. I don't know where I found this idea. It just came out itself.
In the process of everything.
Yeah, but I mean, you can maybe find a parallel with Cat in the Brain by Lucio Fulci, where you have Lucio Fulci playing himself, but and himself different from the real Lucio Fulci. So
right, okay.
I decided that Fulci For Fake could be a sort of Cat in the Brain. You have Nicola Nocella, that in Italy is a well-known actor, playing an actor but not really himself, trying to become Lucio Fulci in a movie that, of course, doesn't exist. So there is not this line between what is real and what may be real that was present in Ketan in the brain, and I think that was the right key to face Lucio Fulci in Fuji For Fake.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, and I just asked that just as far as because you know I'm familiar with Fulci and I have lots of his movies and I've seen his stuff for years, but just as far as more of his personal life, this was really interesting. And there were some moments where I kind of had to rewind because I'm like, okay, am I getting this straight that this guy is kind of acting like him, but he's still kind of going back and doing interviews, and it was kind of the perfect embodiment of Fulci and just kind of looking more into him and researching more into him. I thought it was just such an interesting approach, and I mean, it's being called the quintessential film right now about biopic about Fulci. So and rightfully so. It's absolutely amazing how it turned out. So great job with that. So you as a horror fan, I wanted to ask about the special features on this bad boy. So as I mentioned, this one's from Severn. Is there any other distributions, or was this the sole distribution of it?
No, we have a release in Italy. It was released in theaters and then in home video. This is the Italian edition,
Nice.
And it's available in various VOD platforms, streaming like iTunes, like
the streaming platforms.
Yeah, yes, and in the UK is going to be available on Amazon Prime, but talking about home video, till now the only two editions are the Severn one and the Italian one.
Okay. All right. I wanted to touch on, especially with you being a horror fan in general, was the special features of at least the Severn. I don't know what was on, the other Italian or what might be on the others, but the version that I got, the special features are so cool. So you already have a movie that's just packed with awesome information, very in-depth, but, you go into the special features and it was kind of one of those moments that shone through, somebody having a true passion for horror and saying, you know what, you already got that, but here's some really cool features as well. Kind of like, you had the full interview with Fulci's daughter, Camilla, rare home video footage, private life footage, and then Demonia, bam, some backstage footage there. Just tell me about, some moments as far as like you yourself, were you a little overwhelmed with some of the stuff that you were getting for this movie?
Well, I'm a Fulci fan. I always said that Lucio Fulci is the director I love the most. That it does not mean that he's my favorite one. It is the one I love the most. That maybe it's more important. So you meeting Camilla and Antonella, his daughters, was something a really wonderful moment for me. And about the footage, Antonella Fulci showed to me all this private footage of his father, the wedding day, the birth of the two daughters, backstage of some movies like House by the Cemetery, White Fang, Zombie, lots of rare pictures, photos, So it was all really incredible to me. Of course, in the movie, in the editing of Fuji For Fake, only something could enter the final cut, and so we have a lot of material, special features for the extras. Maybe the backstage of Devil's Honey, the erotic movie that Fulci shot in 1986 between Spain and Venice in Italy. That images were the ones that I liked the most. Because you see Lucio Fulci working together to his daughter Camilla, and so it was an emotion to me to see them together working.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, and like I say, there's just the movie is already packed with so much really cool stuff, behind the scenes information, and the special features as well just brings that much more, and that's something incredible to be able to have. Yeah,
and of course for the horror fans, you see the fat zombie, the fat living dead of zombie, the one who got shot at the beginning in the boat. You see him while through the
getting makeup put on and whatnot.
Yeah, the makeup moments. So, while
that's
chewing gum, while the makeup artist is working with him. Yeah,
it's always incredible for it might just be horror fans. I don't know if other genre, but especially horror fans always appreciate seeing that stuff, and any new things, especially that come out. It's awesome to be able to see that type of stuff. Even something as simple as a cat chewing some gum.
Yeah. This is very interesting for the horror fan, the Fulci fan. And I think that is also really moving the footage about the young Camilla horse riding, because horses were a passion for Lucio Fulci and for his daughter Camilla, although she had she saw her life changing because of a horse accident. And so, and in Lucio Fulci himself recorded his voice talking about Camilla horse riding after the accident happened. So you see her young, happy horse riding, and then you listen to Lucio Fulci's voice, remembering how that passion became later something tragic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's so much really good stuff and amazing information in there. Let me ask you, with you being a fan, did you hold on to any sort of props or any sort of set pieces or anything like that from the making of the movie?
Well, no, because I guess no, because it was really fascinating, the special makeup that you see at the beginning of Fuji For Fake. When Nicola Nocella is looking to himself through the glass, and he saw himself with the makeup of old Lucio Fulci in Cat in the Brain. And then he destroys this makeup, returning to be himself. So maybe I wished to bring with me the mask of this makeup of Lucha Fuji. Of course, the special makeup artist wanted to take it for himself, and I completely
understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, just let me take the mustache. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. So now, mentioning the interviews, your interviews with Camilla, can you tell us about how that all came about? You know, with it being something to where it's just an absolute rarity, and you speak, you know, in the movie about, you know, that it's just such a rare thing. How did you get that opportunity?
Well, when I started to work to Fulci For Fake, I said to Giada Mazzoleni, the producer, there are two things that to me are really necessary to this movie. And the first one is having both the daughters of Lucio Fulci, Camilla and Antonella. Fulci fans know that Camilla never appeared in any video interviews, never talked about his father. Lots of people from all the parts of the world tried to interview her, but no one succeeded in it. When I met for the first time Camilla, before that, I simply wrote to her by messenger, because she had a Facebook profile, asking if she wanted to meet me and the producer. And incredibly, she agreed. And so
really? Wow.
Yeah, and so I was very, very. I was full of fear when I took the train from Milan to meet her. But then, when I meet her and I explained to her the kind of movie I was going to shoot, she immediately agreed to be part of it. Camilla was living at the time in a sort of hospital. She had lots of health problems, and I guess that she saw in Fulci For Fake an opportunity to tell to the Italian world of cinema, I'm the daughter of Lucio Fulci. I worked for several years in Italian cinema industry, and now I'm alone in a terrible place. I want to come back because my body is not in a good situation, but my mind, is okay. So working with her was really, really difficult because she passes from being really kind to be sort of monster. One day she tells you that you are a wonderful man, and the next day you become for her bad guy. She,
Wow.
yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, uh, she was a person that suffered a lot in
Lots of pain, right?
lots of pain in her life. I'm
Right.
I'm really happy that the image of her that you see in Fulci For Fake is a good image
Right.
because she's funny, she's intelligent, and she's also moving.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Wow. Okay. All right. And so you just got a hold of her through a Facebook message. I mean, that's absolutely crazy for the amount of time that a lot of people have been trying to get a hold of someone like that, and just to be able to do that, that's incredible. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's incredible. Well, I'm not, Camilla passed away
Right.
just 3 months after the shooting of her interview.
Right.
So, unfortunately, she died before the movie was completed and before the movie had its world premiere at the Venice Film Festival. That is, of course, the most important Italian movie festival and the second one in the world after Cannes. And I remember that when we were shooting, Camilla was always saying to me, to the production, this movie is going to be presented in Venice Film Festival, and I will be there with you talking to Italian critics, to Italian movie people, saying I'm back. But unfortunately, it did not happen.
Right. Well, even if not physically, the beautiful image and the message and the stories that she got to stare or that she got to share through your movie, that lives forever. That's an eternity and continues on. So what a beautiful thing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I say one more thing.
Sure.
I know that she was really brilliant. She was intelligent,
Hmm.
and she was funny. I remember that she was used to say to me when she was, quite anxious about shooting. She said to me, "It's like in the movie. I don't remember the original title. The movie of Zucker, Abrams Zucker about the plane, the crazy plane. You know.
I know what you're talking about, and I can't think of what the name is now. Damn it.
Anyway,
I'll
she
edit in the
said,
title.
yeah, I know the Italian title. Well,
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
she said that there is that famous scene. The people, the passengers are in the plane. The plane start to shook, and there's a message that says, "Don't panic." And a few seconds later, it appears, "Okay, panic." And and, and when we were going to start the shooting, she was always saying to me, "Don't panic, okay, panic." Because for her was of course really hard to stay, in front of the camera talking about her past life, her father. So the moments we shared, well, I will never forget them. It was like, going through a storm.
Sure. Okay. Okay. And you have those things. I mean, you mentioning those things isn't necessarily shedding a negative light like you said, she'd had a tough life. She was going through a hard time with pain and different things, but she still remained, to do a project like this and show her beautiful, witty self. So, you can't ask more than that. It's awesome.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Very, very cool. All right. Well, this is coming to the end of our interview here, sir. Thank you so much. I do have one finale question, but before that, if you want to let everybody know what you have going on and just maybe some future projects here, this is your time, sir.
Yeah, okay. First of all, I apologize for my really bad English. I'm sorry. It's like Lucha Fuji. I hope that you understand something. Well, my future project, I'm a professor of cinema, so I teach in the most important University of Cinema in North Italy, and it's of course a really busy period because of the COVID situation. But I'm of course also trying to make a new project that, if COVID allows it, I will start on December. I can tell you nothing that goes really deep, but it's again a movie about an horror director.
Oh, no more. No more. I don't want to get you in any corners that you're going to be in trouble now. We'll stop here. Wow. Okay. Awesome. Well, that sounds so cool. I tell so many friends and different friends, even on the Instagram community here, there's such a huge horror community, and this Fulci For Fake release has been absolutely awesome. So tons of people have just been loving it, and rightfully so. An absolutely great project, and to hear something else coming, very, very cool. Cannot wait. So now for my finale question, I wanted to ask you here, with all of your work and just, even before Fulci For Fake, you have made a different series and you have directed. What is something early on that you had learned about the filming industry that you still hold with you dear today?
Well, it's a long story. When I started I shot my first movie in 2004. I was not even 26 years old. I was wondering to make movies that could shock people, bring people to see the dark side of themselves, to face this part, to learn to live with this part. Well, I discovered that people don't want to see that kind of movies. And producer don't want to produce them. So then after 3-4 movies, I said to myself, let's stop. And I decided to make only movies about teams or about people, like Lucha Fuji, or before the movie of Lucha Fuji, I made a movie about Javier Zanetti, that is an Argentinian football player, really well known in Italy. And that movie, when was released in Italian theaters, reached the first position at the box office.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So nowadays I think I want to make personal movies with a personal language about themes, people, arguments, stories that could find an audience. So that is what I have learned through my years trying to make movies and making them.
Okay. All right. Beautiful. I love the answer. But just to compare, like saying with Lucio Fulci, for so long, some of his stuff went, initially unappreciated, and time, drew some different people in different eyes, and just keep doing what you're doing, sir, because you have absolutely amazing stuff, and we love it.
I'll do. I'll try.
Yeah. All right, Simone, thank you so much for your time today. I truly appreciate it, sir. This has been our interview, and I'm going to stay in touch, and I'm looking forward to what you have coming up next.
Thanks a lot. It was a really pleasure to me. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, the Lo-Fi Horror Guy, Simone Scafidi. You guys check out Fulci For Fake. Take care. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
He's a lo-fi horror guy. Yeah, he's kind of a guy, but he is so lo-fi, a horror guy. Yeah, baby.